Hi, I'm Josh Elliott, the guy who reviews movies that nobody else cared to see. So today I will be reviewing Tomb Raider, which was interesting. I was not expecting for my experience watching Tomb Raider to be as conflicting as it was. But first, what's the story about? Tomb Raider is based off of a video game, but there was also another movie called Tomb Raider based off of the video game that starred Angelina Jolie. They are rebooting the series, but also basing the series off the video game that the original movies were based off of, and yay! Lara Croft is a young British woman whose father was an adventurer. He went off adventuring and never came back. One day, when she is supposed to proclaim him dead, she discovers where her father was actually going. She decides to go there as well, because he may not actually be dead. She teams up with this Chinese guy, and they go to this island to find her father, who went to this island to find the remains of Himiko, the mythical queen of Yamatai. Hope I got that right. However, upon getting there, they discover that there are plenty of other people there that are also trying to find Himiko, and then shit goes down, and it becomes a battle between them, because her father genuinely believed that if Himiko's spirit was released, then the whole world would be plunged into darkness and death and destruction. It's your typical adventure movie storyline. It's based off a video game, so it automatically has that against it. But then again, it has Alicia Vikander, who recently won an Oscar. I know pros and cons are usually Brett's thing, not mine, but honestly, I can sum up my entire experience in Tomb Raider into one pro and one con. Pro: all of the action sequences. Con: every line of dialogue spoken. And that's about it. I was expecting to hate Tomb Raider. The dialogue is terrible. The story is cliche. The actors are not the worst, but they're definitely not, like, that great. The dialogue, oh my god, the dialogue. The dialogue gets better as the story goes along, I'll give it that, but oh boy, that first, 45 minutes, that was a struggle, trying to get through the characters, literally just, explaining the story to the audience. The opening narration is just the worst. Lara Croft, or Laura Croft, sorry, it's Lara, but it's supposed to be pronounced Laura. She's so thinly written. Alicia Vikander does the best she can, I guess. But really, she's based off a video game character, and so she has a story, but she doesn't have much personality. And that really shows when her character switches gears so quickly. She'll be in an action sequence and being all badass and cool, and then she'll fall 10 feet and scream like a baby. And in another moment, she'll go from being super serious and intense and dramatic, and then she'll make a really bad joke. Pick a personality trait and just go with it. Stop trying to make her everything. When you try and make her everything, she kind of just comes across as nothing. And so yeah, all of the things that I was expecting to hate about Tomb Raider, I really hated about Tomb Raider. But the action is really freaking good. And see, I feel like I would usually say that the action doesn't make up for the poor plot construction, poor characters, poor dialogue, but it kind of does, because a majority of the movie is action. It's not 20 minutes of action and then an hour and 40 minutes of story. It really is about 50-50. Half is story, half is action. So the movie knows that the story isn't its strong point. That doesn't make up for it, but it definitely tries its best to shift its attention away from the story and focus primarily on the action, which is what it does really well. And that's a smart choice. It has some really memorable action set pieces. The scene where she's in the plane, for example, is gripping and intense and awesome. The scene where they all finally go into the tomb reminded me a lot of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And yes, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade did do it better, but Tomb Raiders is still interesting. About halfway through the movie, I suddenly realized that I actually cared. I wasn't bored. I was invested. The story was very entertaining for good reasons, not ironically, like you would think it would be. And so this whole story behind Tomb Raider is so lazily thrown together, but it's clear where the movie put most of its priorities, and it did in the action, and the action is so freaking good that I can't call this a bad movie. It's not a good movie, but it's not bad either. Essentially, the pros and cons both outweigh each other. There's pretty much an even amount of both, so I really have no choice but to give Tomb Raider a 5 out of 10. This movie could have been much worse, and so I guess I can say it surprised me. As an experience, it's a lot of fun. As a movie, it's not. What did you think of Tomb Raider? If you saw it, please let me know in the comments below. Click here to subscribe and click here to watch our last video. See you guys next time. Peace out.